Hello friends, it's Saturday, November 22nd, 2014. Lynn and Jamie here, continuing our assignment. The instructions continue to be non-directive intentions. A little bit of intention goes a long way in this dimension. So, our intention is to do what is ours to do in all dimensions to trigger the awakening right now. And with that, it begins. There's a voice from way up high saying, "What do you know?"
Yeah.
And they're talking about where we have presences. We know we have a presence operating at ground zero in the physical dimension.
That's true.
We can know we have a presence operating at or near the level of the summit where Luce is.
That's true.
We have a presence at the summit proper.
That's true.
We have a presence way up above the summit where Stephen is, who has a similar job to the kind old man's job, but at a much larger scale.
That's true.
And we know that high above that, there is the bird that at one point in time was an Arctic tern, but now seems to have evolved into a raptor of sorts. And that raptor is just flying straight up.
That's true.
And the wings feel very steady and sure and not at all tired.
That's true.
And so much for the fable that hawks are not long-distance flyers, because this one is going.
That's true.
The voice again is saying, "What do I notice?" Well, I notice that there's nothing below ground zero, and that is clearly an error.
That's true.
And boom, it's like I fall down butt to the concrete.
That's true.
Thump. And here we are at the concrete. And the ash is still blowing around. The ash that's been falling for 2+ days now.
True.
Still blowing around. And what blows it around? They say, what blows it around? What blows it around is the wind from the hawk's wing beats.
That's true.
I can see it as it comes down. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. So that's right. And what else do I know? I know that higher dimension beings can only come where they're invited in.
That's true.
And that right now, down here, I can start to ask for higher dimension support. And from here, which is way below ground zero, there's a lot that's higher
That's
dimension.
true.
So I can call in the angels, ask for angels who are willing to work through us. Any angels willing to use us as a vessel to come into this space where the concrete floor is and start to clear out this dimension. I can't say that I'm inundated.
No, I don't. Not everybody all at once.
Do you see anyone?
No.
I don't see anyone.
True.
It's a statement that I work of earlier today is incomplete.
That's true.
And it's also a statement of angels being awfully light on their feet, as the wizard says.
That's
the
true.
wizard says light on their feet when people are reluctant to work in the deeper dimensions where the work clearly is needed.
That's true.
So I'm just going to step up to a microphone that's suddenly kind of like right here, right on the concrete
Yes, I see.
floor is a standing mic, and I step up and I say, "Angels, angels, this dimension down here needs your help. Are you willing, not for me, but for this dimension down here, to work through us, to clear this dimension? This is where the work is needed." The only wings I see around here are my own.
Yes.
So, now I look past you guys. You guys apparently think that you're the last bastion of deity.
That's true.
And you're incorrect. So I look way past you up to where Stephen's floor is. He's waving. I'm just going to
Yes.
start now to offer this vessel to higher dimension beings. And there's actually a number of beings
That's true.
coming down. It looks like the fireman pole trick. They're setting up camp.
That's true.
They're going to be here for a while. Good point. Good point. This reminds me that I too should be setting up a camp here.
That's
it
true.
doesn't make any sense to not have a permanent presence down here. That's just crazy thinking
That's
on my
true.
part, just insanity. Woohoo, crazy. And so somebody seems to have carried our tent
That's true.
to us. Thank you. I'm
Thank
really
you.
sorry that I didn't carry my own tent. That was
Thank you.
stupid of me. Thank you. Thank you. I owe you. Again, I'm being shown those beings that we worked with Pan to raise from the near dead. They
That's
were
true.
sleeping the sleep of Rip Van Winkle,
That's true.
basically. And that their feet are supposed to be walking in a circle, stirring the vortices. And so I'm going to ask them if they're willing to come back and stir these vortices, get the vortices going again. The natural vortices going. There are some
Yes,
beings. I
there
hear
are.
some big
Boom,
whoomp, like
boom.
giants dropping down.
Yes.
Boom. And so these, they look like walking
Mountains.
are stirring, and they're just setting up a rhythm that looks very sustainable, and it reminds me of the hawk with the wing beats.
That's true.
This is a rhythm that these mountains will be able to keep going for a long, long, long time,
That's true.
and drop down to the next level down where it's just dark and
Whoa.
angry. If anyone is willing to use us as a vessel down here where the work is needed,
That's
we are
true.
grateful, grateful, grateful to be used in that way. Here comes somebody.
Yeah.
Higher dimension beings, and has the feeling of the cherubim again.
Yes.
So you silly angels who think you're, the last port of call in the angelic community, evaluate for truth. Our cherubim of higher vibration than rank and file angels.
Yes.
If this vessel is good enough for cherubim to work through, and which you see right here, right?
Right,
You see
they're
them
right
around
here.
here, right here. They're right in front of you, like you see them ducking
Waving.
into the camera and going,
Yeah.
hello, like bending down to
Yeah.
get into the shot. Hello. You see the cherubim right here, right? There, you see it's good enough for them, right?
Yes.
And here's the replay of
The
a
Seraphim.
couple episodes where the Seraphim showed up, right? Here they are, a couple of shots, just so you see it wasn't just a one-time thing,
That's
right?
true.
It's good enough for cherubim and it's good enough for seraphim, right?
That's true.
So the rank and file angels, what's the problem? What's the problem? Where's the holdup? Where's the disconnect?
Where's the disconnect?
Let's ask right now if there are any seraphim right now willing to use us as vessels right now. So now, friends, what do you see in the shot behind us?
They're waving.
Right. You see cherubim and seraphim, right?
That's true.
Angels. What's missing? The little row up front in the angelic community. The babies. That's right, that's you.
That's true.
It's what my book says. See? The babies
That's
in
true.
the angelic community. You see what it says?
That's true.
These aren't my words. These are the words that are scripted for me by divine source, right?
True.
Now look at your books. You don't even carry your books with you? What the heck? Where are your channels? You don't even have your channels up. You would benefit from working through a vessel that has channels trained solidly up.
That's
Evaluate
true.
for truth. Ask Azara, or here's her testimony from this morning.
That's true.
You see where Azara testified. We'll broadcast this on the billboards up and down Angel Row, right?
That's true.
Azara's testimony is playing where
On a loop.
on a close loop, where she says over and over again that she benefited from living in the house and that it helped her train her channels up.
It's true.
And you can see the photos of her before she moved in and when she moved out, and you can see that she looks 20 years younger.
That's
Right?
true.
Now you can also see the photos of the house. Here's what the house looked like when she moved in, and the house when she moved out. The house looks 20 years older, doesn't she?
That's true.
That's interesting, isn't it? What do you make of that, friends? Everybody, seraphim, cherubim? Does it look like energy vampirism?
Yes.
So who was the vampire and who was the feeding trough?
Zara was the vampire.
Zara was the vampire.
You can see the little holes.
Yeah, you can see the holes. Right.
That's true.
Interesting,
Suck
isn't
the
it?
house dry.
Suck the house
Attempted
dry.
to suck the house
Attempted
dry.
to, but
She
you
didn't.
can't
You
because it's plugged into an eternal well.
That's true.
So there is a rumor circulating that one of us damaged the other, correct?
That's true.
So, vote. Who damaged whom?
And here are the photos.
Here are the
Here are
photos.
the facts.
Cherubim, Seraphim, correct me. You know, please don't let me say anything wrong. Please,
That's
here's
true.
the microphone. I'll stand back from the microphone. Somebody take the mic.
No one's denying it. Azara looks 20 years younger.
She does. She looks great.
The house looks 20 years older.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't look as good. Once more, we offer this as a vessel to the angelic community to come right down here, not wherever you want to go, but
That's
where
true.
we are, down here on the concrete. Here is where the work needs to be done.
It's true.
Are you willing to come down here where the work is needed and get these deeper dimensions cleaned out, as your soul contract has committed you to do, by the way?
That's true.
Or are you still going to sit on the beaches, cowering behind a lie that you can see is untrue?
That's true.
That fig leaf doesn't cover much.
That's true.
You know what's under that fig leaf? I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to live my soul plan.
It's true.
Well, live streaming it up. Correct me if my thoughts are crazy, because this is what I'm thinking, live streaming it up. These angels don't want to live their soul plan. That's why they don't have their channels up.
That's true.
And that's why they aren't stepping up when a bold call is made. Click,
That's
click,
true.
click. And the cherubim and the seraphim, correct me if I'm wrong. Friends, don't let me be yapping something that's
The
untrue.
microphone is here. The
Microphone is here.
open.
Many targets beneath us seem to be opening, and there's a big updraft of stench.
That is true.
And angels, your opportunity is here, but windows of opportunity open and close, and knowing what's been going on up and down this pillar, I would say this is probably your last call.
That's true.
Cherubim, Seraphim, correct me, please.
Everyone's nodding.
Last call, friends, last call. Not for me, because this work continues on. This
That's
is
true.
for you. This is last call for you. Are you going to hide behind the lies of a vampire? Why don't you all go home and get your book? Go away. You disgust me. Fakers disgust me.
That's
Now,
true.
Cherubim, Seraphim, correct me if I'm out of line.
No.
Correct me, and I'm live streaming this up because I need to be shown the error of my thinking if I am confused. Because it seems to me like the entire angelic community has left their book and their balls in their desks at home.
It's true.
And here comes someone, and she's got fury coming out of her eyes, and she's saying, if you got a bone to pick it with me in public. Honey, I think I just didn't I?
That's true. It's like she's rolling up her
Yeah,
sleeves.
come on, baby. You know where I am. I am down here on the concrete floor with the cherubim and the seraphim. Bring it on.
That's true. I don't see her coming.
No, she's a coward.
Yeah,
A liar and a coward.
that's true.
Now, Azara, I love you, but I don't love cowardice, and I don't love lies.
That's
And
true.
you have to clean up your act. I love you regardless, and I don't hold a grudge.
That's true. You know
Cherubim,
that.
Seraphim, correct me. Anybody, look. Is there any resentment, any anger, anything?
No.
I love you, but I am not going to stand silent when you do crazy things like this.
That's true.
I've stood silent for 2.5 years.
That is true.
And
Look at the holes, the vampire holes.
you see them, right?
They're still there.
They're still there. You haven't done a thing
Nope.
to correct that error, which is okay. I'm perfectly capable of tending my energy body. I don't need you to do it for me. Thank you.
That's true.
I don't need any energy manipulator touching my energy body. And you're a
That's true.
flat-out energy manipulator, because look at your channels. They're dragging on the ground. You don't have your channels up. I am live streaming all of this straight up, because if my thinking is crazy, I beg to be corrected.
And-
Haul me up short.
It's like she's saying, come up here and say that to my face.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Whoa.
bitch. You are a liar and a coward.
Let's do this.
Let's go down where the work is happening, okay? Or go up to where judgment is waiting. Up or down, right?
That's true.
Which one? Do you want to go up? You want to go down? What do you want?
Wow. She's shrinking, cowering.
She's a coward. Look at the picture of yourself when you left. Your channels are up.
You look
You
amazing.
are glowing. You look awesome. Look at your picture right now.
Gross.
You look gross.
Gross little person.
You left me like this. This is where you are today. Strange choices that you're making. I think that they're coming for her now.
Yes, they are.
They're taking her away. All that potential wasted. Well, let's go back down, set up camp.
Yes.
Down there with the Seraphim and the Cherubim.
Yes.
It's a wonderful place to be.
It's
We'll be
true.
drilling down and clearing deeper and deeper and deeper layers.
That's true.
Onward ho.
Onward.
Onward ho.
Onward.
Onward, onward, onward to the goal. All of us living our soul plans, channels up, creating lives of joy and worlds that work. We
That's
can
true.
do it, friends. The time of awakening is now.
That's true.